If you're not a watch enthusiast, it's hard to understand the world of watches. Some watches are really inexpensive, some are somewhat expensive, and some just are crazy expensive. Prices, of course, are subjective depending on a lot of different factors, but I think we can all agree that an automatic watch in the sub $200 range category is not crazy expensive and can be attainable for most of us and the majority of the people watching this video. One common thing I've found throughout my watch collecting journey is that the price is not the determining factor as to whether a watch will deliver great specs or feel like a quality product in hand. Sometimes a watch on paper has great specs, the price is right, but in hand feels terrible. On the other hand, a watch such as this vintage inspired diver from Balani delivers crazy specs, great price, and feels great in hand. Sure, the watch can be confused with the almighty Omega Seamaster 300. Homage watches are controversial, and I'll be the first to admit that I'm not a fan, but I believe everyone should buy whatever speaks to them, no matter if it resembles another design, as long as it's not a replica. This channel is all about truly exploring all kinds of watches at all different price points. This is the third Balani watch I review, and I'm just blown away every time by the level of machining and quality you get for your money. This particular model is called the S203026 Retro Military Style Dive Watch. It's fully constructed of 316L stainless steel, measures in at 42mm, is 49mm from lug to lug, 14.1mm thick, and it has 20mm lugs. The watch has the same water resistance as a Rolex Submariner, 300 meters, weighs in at 105 grams, and only costs $173. The entire case feels very well finished. We find brushing throughout the case, making this watch not only look but feel very much like a tool watch. There's something about the shape of the crown guards and the feel of unscrewing and screwing the 6.9mm unsigned crown. It just feels like it was thought out and well engineered. Screwing and unscrewing the crown feels smooth, no resistance really, and when you unscrew the crown, it pops similar to the crowns you find on Rolex watches. I would love to see drill holes on the case for easy strap changes and that tool watch look, but that always is my personal choice when it comes to tool watches. The dial is protected by a sapphire crystal, and the dial itself of course is very legible thanks to the broad hands and indices. Balani does offer this watch in different dial colors, but black is always a classic to me, so this was a favorite of the bunch. The Fotina on the hands and indices don't bother me much, but I do think they clash with the color of the markings on the aluminum bezel aside from that lume pip. Speaking of the bezel, it's a 120 click unidirectional bezel, and it feels a little spongy when you interact with it, very similar to a SoCal watch. The bezel is easy to grip, and the resistance is not bad. A little on the hard side, but it trims freely, and unlike SoCal watches, it actually lines up. The watch has some pretty decent lume. Balani is using Swiss Superluminova. The lume has been applied on the hands, indices, and pip on the bezel. It glows okay, but nothing compared to a SoCal. Nonetheless, for the price point, the lume performs as it should. On the back of the watch, we find a screw down sterile case back, and underneath, the heart of the watch, a SoCal NH38 mechanical automatic movement. The movement features 24 joules, has about 41 hours of power reserve, beats at 21,600 beats per hour. You can hack it, you can wind it. Also, the fact that this movement doesn't feature a date complication means there's no ghost position on this watch. For those of you that are new into watches, don't worry about this movement. These NH movements can be purchased for less than $50, and either you can attempt to swap it out or somebody else can swap it out for you. Either way, this is a reliable movement and honestly relatively affordable to just replace the whole thing. This watch is offered on a Nato strap or a leather strap. I chose to go with the leather. But that's when you start to feel the quality shift from great to not so good. I mean, the strap is not going to fall apart right away, at least I don't think so, but it definitely doesn't look or feel like a quality product. Although it does feature a nice signed stainless steel buckle that can be swapped out to a nicer leather strap, I mean, the overall feel and look is just not good. The benefit of this watch is that it does feature that 20mm lug width. Therefore, swapping out straps is relatively easy, and there are plenty of options on the market. The watch itself is extremely versatile and looks great on a number of different straps. I like the look and feel of the watch on my 6 7/8 inch wrist. It's not massive, but I will say that Balani should reduce the weight of this watch to sub 100 grams and also try to make this watch thinner so it can wear and look more like a vintage watch. Nonetheless, the watch is comfortable and it looks very much like a vintage military instrument, minus the radiation. Let me end with this. The watch is not perfect as mentioned throughout the video, but for less than $200 you get a watch that's well finished, looks very nice, and can definitely take a beating. I will highly recommend this watch for you or someone in your life that's into dive watches but is not deep into the hobby, or to someone that wants to see what an Omega Seamaster 300 would look like before spending thousands of dollars on one. Stay safe out there, thank you for watching, and stay humble, my friends.